Hey, what's up guys? RhinoRatesMusic here, and we are here with our first year-end list video. Now, of course, now that we are officially nearing the end of 2025, another year, that means it's time to go through some of the best and worst moments of the year in the form of one of the greatest art forms ever made, music. But unfortunately in this video we have to go over the bottom of the barrel first and talk about some of the worst songs that I listened to in 2025. Now admittedly this year was a bit more of a busy year for me, and I wanted to try focus more on albums that I feel I would get more enjoyment out of, that I would like, that would be worth my time. So as a result I kind of veered away from music that I knew was going to be bad, or that I heard was going to be bad, or that people were saying were going to be bad. So that's why I'm not going to be doing a worst albums list. I will do a video on my TikTok page where I talk about some of the worst albums that I listened to. However, when it comes to songs, because they are easier, well, not easier, but a bit less tedious to digest, and because I heard some really bad songs this year, I'm still going to be making my top 10 worst songs of 2025. I almost wanted to make it a top 15, but I felt like it would be too much pain for me to have to listen to 15 bad songs or remind myself of 15 of the worst songs that came out this year, and it will be more pain for you guys for me talking about some of the worst songs of 2025. So here we go. Here are my top 10 worst songs of 2025, and opening at number 10 spot, I'm going with Alex Warren with Ordinary. Now, this was a song that, for whatever reason, stayed at number 1 for so long, and as a result of that, it just got overplayed to high hell, and I just became absolutely sick of it. And normally, I wouldn't put songs on this list that I dislike just simply because they're overplayed, but the fact that this was already a bad song the day it came out, with one of the blandest choruses, blandest instrumentals, auto-tuned, and the performance of it, the whole aesthetic of it just kind of reminds me a mix of a song that would soundtrack the 50 Shades of Grey movie if it was directed by Richard Curtis, and a fucking Hillsong track. And that this became a hit, the fact that this became a hit, this was shoved in our faces and our ears for as long as it was, just makes this song even worse. It's already a bad song to begin with, one of the most blandest pop songs or pop hits that I've heard in a while, but the fact that this got overplayed to high hell and that chorus just got stuck in my head for a while in the worst way possible just haunts me enough to put this song on this list at the number 9 spot. At the number 9 spot, we have the song Save Me by Goldilocks and DaBaby. Now, DaBaby is an artist who just a few years ago was one of the biggest rappers out there, almost to the point where if you said that a few years later he'll be one of the most forgotten names in music, you probably would have laughed. But I knew this guy when he started popping off. He wasn't going to last long, and this track is just an even worse example of that happening. I haven't listened to DaBaby properly in a while, but for whatever reason, I decided to check out what the hell he's been doing, and then I see this song he did with this country singer, and I'm like, fuck it, let's give it a listen. And yeah, it's horrible. Goldilocks' vocals come across as very generic, very stale, and quite auto-tuned, and then DaBaby's verse is just the same formulaic verse he was using a few years ago that made me say, yeah, if he keeps utilizing the same style, he's not going to go anywhere in the future. And yet now he's resorting to this crap, making this very bland blend of rap and contemporary country that comes across as, again, bland at best, but insanely annoying, cheap, and cringeworthy, and just sad at worst. And the lyrics on here are quite gross as well. Speaking of gross, at the number 8 spot, we've got Sleep Token with Caramel. My god, this song really gave me a migraine when I first heard it. Not just because of its incredibly messy, pretentious blends of gent, metalcore, indie pop, rap, folk, like just everywhere, all over the place, just not coming together whatsoever, just coming across as oil and water, which has always been my problem with Sleep Token, is just these genres that they incorporate, they seem to have a very surface level understanding of, even metal, and it just comes across as so bland. But on this song in particular, it's just made even worse by that god-awful chorus. Like caramel. Oh my god, I just cannot stand it. I hate the chorus. I hate the performance. I hate the song overall. I already never liked Sleep Token for just their very bland, generic blends of genres that comes across in a messy, incoherent way. But on this song, it's done in probably the worst way they've ever done before, and I hate it. Coming at number 7 spot, speaking of bad vocal performances and bad mixes, we have NLE Choppa and Imagine Dragons coming together on Dare You. Now, NLE Choppa's performances on here by themselves is not too bad, although still kind of stale compared to what he was doing a few years ago. But it's the fact that he had the needs, he had the audacity to collaborate with Imagine Dragons of all artists, who not only provide some very bad features, and Dan Reynolds provides some dreadful vocals, the strained voice he uses, even sounding like a teenager trying to sing high and going through voice tracks. You'll never take me out alive. And the chorus, say it to my face, I dare you. Are you trying to come across as threatening or something? Because it's not working at all. Dan, I'm being honest to God that on this song, you probably come across as threatening as a baby with a teaspoon. And NLE Choppa's just, I know that Imagine Dragons have worked with rappers like Jid in the past, but at least Jid somehow made his verse work, or somewhat work, on the song that he was on. Whereas on this song, Imagine Dragons are the ones trying to work on this song with NLE Choppa's more threatening style that he produces with his rapping, and now they're trying to come across as threatening and demeaning, and it just completely falls flat on its face and comes across as one of the most annoying songs I've heard this year. Speaking of annoying songs and songs with bad choruses, we have the number 6 spot with Benson Boone's Mystical Magical. Like, I know Benson Boone is somebody who can make a somewhat decent song every now and then and utilize his admittedly decent vocals to good use, but this song is far from that. Like, if you hated his vocals and his performance on Beautiful Things, then his vocal performance on this song is 10 times worse. I'm quoting Fantano here, but his interpretation of this chorus I just can't get out of my head. It's like if Tiny Tim was holding Freddie Mercury at gunpoint. I couldn't agree more. It almost sounds like Benson Boone, the chorus, is trying to do a Tiny Tim impression, but trying to make it sound more anthemic and more appeasing to the mainstream, kind of like how Freddie Mercury would. No disrespect to Freddie Mercury, by the way, absolutely not. And not to mention the lyrics of this song that comes across as egotistical and narcissistic as hell, where he's trying to make out, oh, to this girl, like, just give me time. Let me keep flirting with you day after day after day, and eventually you're going to fall for me and you'll realize that I'm the one for you, and it's just going to be great. It'll be mystical, magical. It just comes across as pervy, and it comes across as narcissistic on top of a terrible vocal performance. Yeah, this is definitely the worst Benson Boone song ever, because I don't even hate the guy as a person or vocally. I think he's come out with some somewhat decent tracks, but this song is far from one of them. Coming at number 5 spot, it is an artist I just came across recently and I wish I never had. We have Jessie Murph with the song 1965. If you want to run down what this song is, it is basically her doing Meghan Trainor, being a trad wife and also producing some terrible stereotypical vocals, except multiply that by 3, because at least Meghan Trainor on hers is somewhat self-aware of what she's doing, and she knows to some extent that the music she's making is not meant to be good. It's meant to be satirical, it's meant to be tongue-in-cheek. And while I do think Jessie Murph is somewhat aware that she's trying to be satirical, she doesn't come across as it. She's coming across as a trad wife, but from the 60s, trying to act like a woman from the 1960s, trying to appease to a lot of the toxic gender norms and gender roles during that time and conforming to them, but then on the other hand being like, nah, fuck you, I'm not gonna do that. Like, if you want to make a sort of, feminist anthem or a statement against gender norms, why do you have to go back to the 60s to do it? All that does is more harm than good when it comes to perpetuating harmful gender roles and the way she's just presenting this role. And on top of that, the way she's presenting it, even if you want to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she's not the best when it comes to presenting this kind of topic in a satirical way, she does it in an awful way with some bad vocal performances, bad acting, some pretty gross lyrics and a very bland instrumental that is like a mix of white pop soul and hip hop. And yeah, it's just terrible and one of the worst things I've heard this year in the form of a song. Coming at number 4 spot, a song that's somehow even worse, it's Will Smith with Pretty Girls. All this song in a nutshell is Will Smith trying to forcibly convince us that he's not gay, he likes pretty girls, he likes any sort of girls, he likes getting around with them. And like, dude, we don't need to know that, okay? We don't care about the sort of girls you like. You're 56, I believe. Like, why should we even know this? Why should we even care? I don't care what your sexuality is, mate. I don't care whether you like pretty girls. I like pretty girls as well, but like the way, and even in this song, the way he's trying to come across as like sexy and trying to appease the girls comes across as very basic and very bland and makes me question, what sort of pretty girls does he even like? And yeah, again, the performance, the instrumental is so bland. And actually, the production on this song is actually quite annoying as well. The bass and the drums sound cheap as hell, just as Will Smith's performances do. On this entire album, his acting, you wouldn't even think that Will Smith is a world-class Hollywood actor, because his acting on this song and other songs on the album is terrible. And yeah, terrible song overall. Coming at number 3 spot, we have King Combs with Diddy Free. It's literally Sean Combs, or Diddy's son, making a song defending his father. Do I need to say any more as to why it's on here? Do I? Now, coming at number 2 spot, we have one of the worst rap songs I've heard in a while, and I've heard a lot of bad rap songs in the last few years, and even this year, but this takes the cake. It's Dave Blunt with First Day Out of the Hospital. This song not only encapsulates some of the worst aspects of emo trap and why the genre is dying out, but it somehow is even worse. The vocal performances, the rapping is so bland, so synthetic, the instrumental is so boring, so tacky, and the topic of the song is tacky. He's basically saying that after he's got out of hospital, he's now going to go back to fucking girls that's probably only fucking him because of the money he's paying them, because he just sounds like one of the most unlikable people that you'd want to fuck. And what is with the homophobia and the transphobia? This particular person he's referring to in this song, referencing people from Thailand who apparently look like a trans person, just comes across as racist and incredibly stereotypical. So not only is this song at best just boring, bland, and encapsulates some of the worst aspects of a genre that's been dying out for the last few years, but at worst, it is harmful, it's offensive, it's gross, and just makes me nearly want to throw up, because, like, this guy really is someone who's blowing up, someone that Kanye West wanted to work with of all people, but again, with where he's been going down, I'm not surprised. So yeah, this song is just, it's terrible. It's god-awful. And speaking of Kanye West, at the number 1 spot, a lot of people have chosen this as their number 1 worst song of the year, and I'm not going to be in the minority in this. I have to agree, it's Kanye West with Cousins. But I'm not just going to mention Cousins here. I'm going to mention 2 Kanye West songs as being the worst song this year, Cousins and World War III. Where do I even need to begin on these songs? Like, I'm not even going to bother going into detail about the controversy behind Kanye West, the neo-Nazi, anti-Semitic, racist rabbit holes he's been going down the last couple of years, and how these songs tie in with those. I'm not going to go through all that. So starting with Cousins, it is one of the most gross and disgusting songs I've ever heard, ever. It's literally a song about him opening up about making love with his cousin. And not even just in like the experimental kind of way where you're like testing your sexuality, which even that would be bad, but it's not even in that way. It's like he's talking about it in kind of an intimate way, but then right off going to say, hey, but I'm not like that. I'm not gay. I ain't gay, you know, like expressing insecurity about that and being homophobic at the same time. And of course getting Dave Blunt on the song, who also made a homophobic song that was previously on this list, is just awful. And then there's, of course, World War III, which is just him further dabbling into his anti-Semitic bullshit that he claims he's stepping back from now and made an apology to a rabbi. But when I re-listened to this song, I went through the pain and the suffering of having to re-listen to both of these songs. Makes me less convinced that he's actually moving towards a positive path and that it was legit, because yeah, this song is awful. And you know, the production of it already sounds very demo quality. He basically tried to unrelease them, but he literally did release them, and they still exist, and they still sound god awful, and they are both the worst songs of 2025. I'm so glad that's over. So glad that I'm done giving you guys some of the worst songs of the year. But now in the next video, we will talk about some of the best songs of 2025. So if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow me on my TikTok, where I post a majority of my music content. And I believe all the lists that I'm going to be posting on here, this will be the last year where I do it on YouTube. So make sure you follow me on my TikTok and my Instagram. But also stay tuned for my best songs of the year.